live channel party. Dan Martin Kasije, our regulator Mr. Eric Bondugu, RSC board members, all the women in the house, and those following us virtually, the media fraternity, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am delighted to welcome you today at this annual event to ring the bell in celebration of the International Women's Day for the 5th time in Rwanda. I am equally pleased to say that our partners, that today, rather this time around, over 90 stock exchanges across the globe are joining the UN Global Compact, the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative, UN Women, the International Finance Corporation, the World Federation of Exchanges, and women ETFs in raising awareness about the gender equality to both business and sustainable development. The world has, through this initiative, once again shown its eagerness to continue supporting gender equality by raising awareness about SDG 5, that is gender equality, and the multiplier effect of investing in women and girls on families, communities, economies, and business. Allow me, our guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to commend our partners I just mentioned above for the option they took to utilize the stock exchanges, smallest, cheapest, and almost meaningless gadget to many, that is the bell. The bell is very important in our business and it attracts a lot of attention. This time around, we are using this small gadget to bring attention to the critical role business can play in advancing women's empowerment and the link between gender equality and attainment of global goals. This year, the UN Women's theme for International Women's Day 2021, Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World, celebrates tremendous efforts by women and girls around the world in shaping a more equal future and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. As a stock exchange, we have witnessed women in various roles and positions playing a key role for our market to maintain its role in the midst of unprecedented challenges brought up by the pandemic. As you are all aware, the capital market's role worldwide is to mobilize long-term savings and channel them to the productive sectors in our economies, and this platform interfaces with a lot of businesses and the public at large. In the past alone, in fact, alone this initiative, the SSC initiative, has identified Goal 5, gender equality, as one of the 5 relevant SDGs that stock exchanges are best positioned to support. Isn't just a mere fact. It is a brilliant idea as a matter of fact. As stock exchanges, we are encouraged to promote gender diversity on boards and management of listed companies and to ensure accessibility of capital market services to female entrepreneurs, just to name a few. Today's official ringing of the bell for gender equality is a significant signal in our capital markets development. The Rwanda Stock Exchange, though young, is a promising one. As a testimony to that, We have joined the Sustainable Stock Exchanges initiative just around 5 years ago, only 4 years after we officially launched our operations, and as the third exchange on the continent to join the rest of the world in support of the Sustainable Development Goals. We have, during these few years, we are part of the fraternity, been working towards to scale up our actions on gender equality by promoting the agenda, organizing trainings on board diversity, and encouraging our listed companies to instill women empowerment within the organizations. We are not preaching, as they say in certain circles, do as I say, but do not as I do. We, within the capital markets industry, are walking the talk on gender equality. Talking of diversity, our own capital market authority, my friend Eric, present here, can testify to that fact. It is run by an able, overqualified lady chairperson from another continent, obviously with a different nationality. The chairman of the Capital Market Authority in Rwanda, she is an American citizen based in Washington, D.C., and she is a she. For us, we are he for she. Eric has subscribed to that. Myself, I have, and many more others in our industry. Thanks to our commitment to that. Interesting enough, 2 of our 5 domestic listed companies are run by women, and the third one is on the way. It's being added on our distinguished list of women CEOs of the RSC listed companies just before the end of this month. So I think that's a good step in our capital market development in strengthening and showcasing that we are very supportive and we continue to do so. Last but not least, at the very organization I am representing here, the RSC is currently employing more women than men, and all our intermediaries are following suit. Having said that, I therefore would like to promise you that as an exchange, we shall continue in this direction in the years to come, and that the way to make sure the gender equality does not fade away with the sounds of this bell we are ringing today. We shall make sure it becomes the norm. Matter of fact, I take this opportunity to officially announce that this year we have started working on a project. I withhold the name. It's going to be an annual event going forward to recognize women in leadership in finance and showcase their contribution to the development of the financial market industry in Rwanda and our economic development at large. I can't say much more about that project. It's coming soon. To conclude, our guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, RSC shall continue to collaborate with the UN Global Compact, the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative, UN Women, the International Finance Corporation, World Federation of Exchanges, and Women in ETFs in raising awareness about the noble cause of gender equality to both business and sustainable development. Lastly, I would like to congratulate the RSC team and thank our main sponsor and partners, the International Finance Corporation. Thank you again, UN Women. Thank you for being with us. For a job well done to pull this off, we always count on your support. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Siwa. For this time now, allow me to welcome Capital Market Authority to give us his remarks.
Which has been an annual event here at the Stock Exchange. I think as we have seen, this year's celebration has a theme, which is basically women in leadership achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. I won't delay much on the impact the COVID has left, not only in our market, our country, region, and the world. But I just wanted, first of all, to thank the UN Global Compact, the UN Women, the International Financial Corporation, IFC, the World Federation of Stock Exchanges, the Women in ETFs, and of course, our dear partner, the Stock Exchange, to consistently making sure that this event is undertaken on an annual basis. We have seen, at least in our market, that the role of women in advancing the growth of our market is negligible. We have actually seen the impact that women have had in advancing the growth of our market at different segments. As you all know, actually female representation in leadership as our annual.
As we have all know, the female representation in leadership in different spheres has shown that improves performance metrics in different indicators. Among others, if I can come back to performance metrics in the capital market, this includes the return of investment that the company has put in the business, the earning per share, and others indicators that reduce volatility in our market. So that really brings emphasis on the role of the women in leadership in our market. From the Capital Market Authority perspective, as the regulatory body of the industry, we do consider actually accommodating women in different aspects. From the legal and regulatory framework, meaning all our regulations and our laws, we try to make sure that women are not only considered in the legal framework, but they do participate in the development of the framework that is supposed to guide the development of our market. We have, I think, as the Stock Exchange CEO has mentioned, we are seeing a growth in women leadership in our market. This from the CEO perspective, but also in board diversity. I think we all know that here in Rwanda we do promote a minimum representation of 30%, but it's only as an indicator. So what we are seeing actually, this is increasingly taking shape, and we thank, of course, the leadership of our country that has laid such a foundation. And I just wanted also to reiterate on behalf of the Capital Market Authority our commitment to really advance gender equality. And one of the functions that we do promote, in fact, with the stock exchange and our market intermediaries, is public education awareness. So one of our key target audience is the women. As we all know, in our household, women can do very well in terms of savings as opposed to us men. So that's not my own statement. These are research findings. So we really do appreciate that, and we need to take that seriously. So at the CMA, one of our targeted audience that we do reach out is the women. And to be able to effectively and efficiently cover that audience, we have signed a partnership agreement with the National Women Council in Rwanda, so that they can ensure that we reach out to the right audience and in an effective way. We also target young girls as future women in different spheres. That is in, for example, universities, where we go around, because university students are the future, actually, market players, intermediaries. So we do also cover the private sector. So as we speak today, we work together with the private sector women chamber to really advance this agenda into the private sector. So without maybe delaying much, I just wanted to really commit on behalf of the Capital Market Authority our commitment to advance this agenda, which is gender equality. And I think gender equality is not as traditionally perceived. It's not a favor that is being given to women or young girls. It's actually their right. And gender equality is not about only women, but also men. So it should be a shared responsibilities that is seen that women should not be given a favor. It's actually part of their rights. So we believe and we strongly support the women leadership role in advancing our market and our country. And as you have seen in the recent past, the gender equality is actually taking a different shape worldwide. This, we are seeing it in representation of women leadership, as actually this year theme is representing from our own country, but also at the continental level, where we are seeing women taking very key leadership roles, and actually beyond our country. I won't mention the specific names, but you are aware. Actually, we've had two very good leaders that have taken recently leadership role at the continent and the worldwide. So this really shows the walking the talk that the CEO previously mentioned. Once again, I wanted to thank the UN Women for really supporting this initiative, the IFC, the Stock Exchange, and all of you can count from the Capital Market Authority that this is a shared responsibility, as I mentioned. So let's make sure that gender equality is demystified, so that we advocate as well wherever we go, because as much as we are building a good environment, many markets, many countries will be learning from our side. And I'm glad today's event is being followed up online by different people across the world. So you are most welcome. We will be glad to share our experiences on the role of women leadership in actually achieving an eco future, not only post the COVID, but also going forward. So I just wanted again to wish you a very good celebration, and let's make it happen. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
you, Eric, for such wonderful remarks. I'd like to encourage our viewers. If you have any query or anything, you can drop your queries through our chat room. Then we shall respond to you immediately. Allow me welcome Mr. Dan Martin Kasidie, IFC resident representative IFC.
You allow me to lower. Thank you. Our chief guest, the UN Women representative, Mr. Celestine Rabakumba, Chief Executive Officer of Rwanda Stock Exchange, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's my pleasure to join you today at this year's event of Ringing the Bell for Gender Equality. Ring the Bell for Gender Equality is an initiative linked with International Women's Day that celebrates women's efforts in shaping a more equal future and highlights the inextricable link between gender equality, sustainability, and inclusive growth. This year, IFC, a member of the World Bank Group, is joining forces with over 100 stock exchanges around the world to ring the bell for gender equality. However, the events come at a critical moment as the economic and social consequences of COVID-19 continue to disproportionately impact women. A recent study, McKinsey study, indicates that while women represent 39% of the global force, they accounted for 54% of job losses as of May 2020. I'm sure that numbers now is pretty much higher. Other study cases indicate at an increase societal vices such as domestic violence. We've also noted from other sources that for each job loss of one man, there are 1.8 women who have also lost jobs. So again, the proportion, the statistic is quite concerning. IFC is working with the private sector and the international development partners to prevent gender gaps accentuated by the pandemic from widening, including committing $8 billion to sustain businesses and preserve jobs, and most recently, $4 billion for a global health program. We are also working with companies to close gaps between women and men as business leaders, employees, consumers, entrepreneurs, and community stakeholders. It suffices to say economies that reduce barriers to women in the workplace boost growth. But organizations that fail to address their gender gaps risk getting left behind. For these reasons, IFC emphasizes the business case for increased gender diversity on many company boards and the importance of preparing competent women for senior positions. However, despite some progress, women remain underrepresented in business leadership. Worldwide, women hold only 17% of board seats, only 5% of board chair positions, only 4% of CEO roles, and only 12.7% of CFO positions. Addressing the barriers prevent more women from ascending to boards and business leadership positions will require a multifaceted approach. And every company, every leader is urged to play their part. We have prioritized gender balance in our own investment. As of December 2020, 49% of IFC nominee directors appointed to boards of client companies were women. IFC is also stepping up its work with stock exchanges to improve diversity in listed companies as they are formidable allies to facilitate gender equitable economic opportunities. IFC encourages exchanges to prioritize diversity in their own corporate structures by implementing gender-friendly workplace policies, developing female-orientated investment products, and reporting to shareholders on diversity objectives, and increasing the number of women holding board and senior leadership positions. I'm glad to note of a very strong positive trend in Rwanda in women taking up board position, CEO position, and senior leadership position. And we urge this trend to continue to grow. In conclusion, I congratulate the Rwanda Securities Exchange for bringing us together to deliberate on such an important topic. Let us all raise awareness about the business case for women's economic empowerment and opportunities for the private sector to advance gender equality and sustainable development. Thank you. I would like to ask if there is, we have a message which is global, which is a short video. With your permission, I'd like us to be relayed at this point. Thank you. Yeah.
It is my pleasure to virtually join you as the representative of the International Finance Corporation, the private sector arm of the World Bank Group, and the largest lender to and investor in developing and emerging markets. For the past 7 years on International Women's Day, we have partnered with stock exchanges around the world to ring the bell for gender equality, to bring to the forefront the importance of gender equality in relation to sustainability and equitable growth. It goes without saying that the COVID crisis is one of the worst crises we have experienced in our lifetime, and it has been disproportionately hard on women. Our research actually indicates that women through the COVID crisis were 1.8 times more likely to lose their job than men. IFC acted quickly for the crisis. We created an $8 billion COVID facility for existing and new clients to provide liquidity. Much of this financing was made available to women-owned and women-managed SMEs. We have also worked hard to help with other intangible issues, things like gender-based violence and childcare. Stock exchanges provide a wonderful opportunity to bring gender equality to the forefront. It's why we've partnered with them to create more diversified boards on publicly listed companies, as well as to expand senior leadership in the same institutions. And in IFC, we made a promise to ourselves. We committed that by 2030, 50% of the board seats we hold as equity investors would be filled by women. I'm pleased to tell you that as of today, we have reached 49% of our board seats currently held by women. It's important that we continue to partner with stock exchanges. You bring key stakeholders together, companies, investors, and policymakers. This dialogue can bring gender equality to the forefront of the conversation and ensure that as we build back from the COVID crisis, we build back more resiliently and more equitably so that women can achieve all that they have the potential to achieve. Happy International Women's Day. It is my pleasure to...
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Stefan. Stefan she's a senior vice president, IFC World Bank Group. And I think she was just emphasizing what the executives have been saying as well. So at this time, allow me to welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Fatu Aminata, for your keynote speech.
Thank you very much, our moderator. Before I start my remarks, I just wanted to really appreciate the richness of the remarks already shared by my brothers here, Celestin, Eric, and Dan Martin. As I was sitting there and reflecting on what I had to say this morning, I felt that first of all, we would complement each other very nicely, but secondly, that the work for gender equality is in really good hands. The work that you've shared and the numbers that you have shared today are absolutely remarkable. So I congratulate you and I thank you for walking the talk. The Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Stock Exchange, my brothers Pierre Celestin Rwabukumba, the Acting Executive Director of the Capital Market Authority, Mr. Eric Bundugu, representative of the International Finance Corporation, Dan Martin Kaisire, RSC board members, members of the media here present, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen joining us virtually. Good morning. It is a pleasure to join you in celebrating this year's International Women's Day. When we met last year to ring the bell, little did we know that the world was about to change. It was just days before the first case of COVID was confirmed in Rwanda, and the country went on lockdown. Over the last 12 months, the world as we knew it changed in drastic ways, and so did the situation of women and girls, as gender equality gains stalled and in some cases were reversed. In this challenging context, I applaud the Rwanda Stock Exchange and all the partners of this event for the relentless efforts every year in ensuring we ring the bell for gender equality and women's empowerment, and that we call businesses to action to advance this important agenda. This year, the event takes a whole new meaning as the world continues to grapple with the severe health and socioeconomic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. A crisis that has spared no one, no country, no industry. In fact, it is a crisis of unprecedented magnitude that is threatening to undo years of progress in fighting poverty, in economic growth, and in advancing gender equality and women's empowerment. However, despite the challenges of the current times, we continue to believe in our potential to jointly impact and advance not only SDG 5 on gender equality, but all the 17 Sustainable Development Goals through robust partnerships and collective action. In this context, I must say that the Ring the Bell event is not just a ritual that we accomplish every year. Instead, it is a unique opportunity to bring attention to the pivotal role that the private sector can play in advancing gender equality, to achieve the SDGs, and to raise awareness as well about the women's empowerment principles, which are more relevant than ever. Some of the progress that you have highlighted, my dear colleagues and partners, owe a lot to these women empowerment principles, which have been promoted for the last 12 years or so. Today, we are very encouraged by the fact that 25 exchanges, up from 10 in 2019, have signed up these principles as part of their commitment to promote gender equality. We also note that Sustainable Stock Exchange members are working to scale up their action on gender equality by promoting the availability and transparency of relevant metrics, organizing training on board diversity, and encouraging their listed companies to sign the principles that I alluded to earlier. This is the way to go, because the research has shown a direct correlation between female leadership and participation in the private sector on one side, and increased profitability, creativity, and productivity. This year, the theme of the International Women's Day is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 world. This theme speaks both to the need to reflect on the progress made and to think about a roadmap to build forward better. In her statement for International Women's Day, the UN Women Executive Director said, and I quote, "There are breakthroughs to celebrate, where women have taken the helm of organizations such as the World Trade Organization, the International Monetary Fund, and the European Central Bank." And I wish to add the deputy chairpersonship of the African Union Commission with our sister, Dr. Monique Sanza-Baganwa, who was just here last year with us celebrating this Ring the Bell event. And we look forward to more such appointments that help to change the picture of what a leader looks like. Beyond changing that picture, these appointments have the potential to increase women's financial inclusion, women's economic empowerment by making women's voices and concerns taken into account in these very critical and transformative institutions. Unfortunately, this is not yet the norm. In 2020, as a global average, women were only 4.4% of CEOs, and they occupied just 16.9% of board seats. They made up only 25% of national parliamentarians and served as head of state in only 22 countries. As a matter of fact, 119 countries have never seen a female head of state or head of government. Luckily, in Rwanda, the figures of women's representation in parliament, in government, in the judiciary are far above those global averages that I just mentioned. But women's representation at the local level and in the private sector still needs attention. So we celebrate everything, all the progress that has been mentioned by my predecessor at this podium. But we also call for greater attention. We call to step up the efforts to make sure that women are represented and that we reach equality in the private sector as well, including in the stock exchange, on boards, and in all these important institutions we are discussing today. You will agree with me that we can and we should do better. As a matter of fact, we must do better because the COVID-19 pandemic could reverse the modest progress that we have mentioned, as more women and girls are at risk of being excluded from online business opportunities, from online education, employment opportunities, and simply from a world where digitalization is happening faster than ever. Globally, ladies and gentlemen, early assessment of the socio-economic impact of COVID-19 point to an increase in gender-based violence, in unpaid care work, and in unemployment among women. In many countries, school closures to contain the spread of the disease will have lasting effect on girls' education, performance, and opportunities in life. According to an assessment conducted jointly by MIGEPROF, UN Women and UNFPA here in Rwanda, disruption in demand and supply chains emanating from COVID-19 restrictions negatively affected business in Rwanda. For the majority of women in the country who are employed in informal sector, such as small businesses, tourism, accommodation and food services, and domestic and cross-border retail trade, the impact was immediate and it was significant. A high proportion of rural and urban women, as a matter of fact, reported that their businesses had closed down as a result of the pandemic. I'm not throwing in numbers here because this is a fast evolving situation where numbers are being updated on a daily basis. So there is really no point. But the key message here is that women are disproportionately affected by this COVID-19 pandemic, especially in terms of their livelihood, in terms of their job opportunities, and so on. This is why very early in June 2020, UN Women, together with the Chamber of Women Entrepreneurs, launched the Business Clinic initiative to provide coaching services to women-led and women-owned businesses so that they could sustain themselves. The initiative was recently expanded in collaboration with Inkomoko to serve women entrepreneurs outside Kigali. But this is just one example among many others. What is even more important is to ensure that COVID response and recovery plans are gender responsive because they have the potential to transform the lives of women and girls. And unfortunately, across countries in Africa and even globally, the economic recovery funds did not cater specifically to the needs of women businesses, and they prove complex in their design and eligibility criteria, if not simply inadequate in their sizes. So what can we do? Many of the solutions have already been highlighted by my predecessors. There is ample evidence showing that the removal of gender-related barriers in business could substantively promote growth and accelerate poverty reduction while catalyzing entrepreneurship. Therefore, I take this opportunity to encourage companies that haven't done so yet to sign up for the Women Empowerment Principles. This is a set of principles offering guidance for business communities on how to empower women in the workplace, marketplace, and community, recognizing that private sector is well positioned to affect changes on issues such as improving gender diversity in senior management and on the boards of directors, developing more gender-friendly policies, developing gender-themed investment products, and improving transparency on gender policies and practices. Beyond just signing up, companies must put in place strong systems to support the implementation of strong accountability measures. We count on your leadership. We count on the leadership also of the private sector, and we stand ready to build partnership with all of you, as we are already doing it under the Promoting Gender Equality in the Private Sector project, an initiative currently being implemented by the Gender Monitoring Office in partnership with the Private Sector Federation, UNDP, and UN Women. Secondly, I would like to challenge all of us to do more. I would like each and everyone in this room or watching online to choose to challenge the remaining barriers to gender equality, to challenge the social norms, the patriarchal attitudes, and discrimination that perpetuate gender inequalities. I call on each and everyone to commit to building an equal future. It is possible, but it will not happen without deliberate efforts. I wish to highlight that under the Generation Equality Forum, an initiative spearheaded by UN Women, Rwanda is a lead in the coalition for technology and innovation. We hope to see tech companies, private sector innovators support this initiative to ensure that women and girls effectively participate and benefit from digitalization. This is critical in building an equal future. As I conclude, allow me to express my appreciation to the organizers of this event and to all those who joined in today. Allow me to also recognize that women have historically been left out or left behind in various spheres, political, social, economic. With only a few women managing to climb up the broken ladders of leadership, to break through heavy glass ceilings, or to put cracks in those ceilings so that the next generation could break through. Today we celebrate all of those women, the ones who made it under the spotlight, and the ones whose names faded in history. We also celebrate the men who have made it a point to do the right thing and to support the empowerment of women in big and small ways. This is our collective responsibility. We do hold a unique opportunity to change history. Let's make it happen. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, our guest of honor. The moment I've been waiting for to mark our ceremony for gender equality, we are going to have ring the bell ceremony. I invite our traders team and our guests. I'll invite our guests and our ladies in the red jackets. shall commence the trading from here. Our traders, and they continue.
Breakthrough.
icyubahiro cyane n'agaciro kubera uburyo intambwe yabashije gutera zimuvana mu cyiciro kimwe zimujyana mu kindi mu bijyanye no gufata ibyo twakwita ngo ni risk, kwanzura gufata intera itandukanye n'umurongo yari asanzwe afite, ariko bimuganisha mu kuba yakwiteza imbere, ariko akanaba n'umurongo mwiza kuri sosiyete kuba yamwigiraho. Nitwa Ruziga Emmanuel Masantondo, umunyamakuru wa RBA. Nk'uko mwamaze kubyumva, nsanzwe nkora amakuru y'ubukungu, ndamukurikirana cyane uyu rwiyemezamirimo w'umudamu, umubyeyi utirengagiza inshingano z'urugo, ariko akanamenya yuko no mu gukora bifasha n'ubundi bwo gutera imbere. Reka ntangire mbabwira yuko kuba yicaye ahangaha ntabwo ari ukubera ko aruta abandi bose bari mu mwuga w'ibyo akora, ahubwo nuko afite amateka afite icyo yafasha abandi bifuza kugera aho ageze. Madame Alice, ndagushimiye ko wemeye kuganira natwe.
Murakoze cyane, ndabashimiye.
Yego, reka dutangire tukubaza ibijyanye n'urugendo rwawe. Umunsi umwe wakubereye intangiriro yo gushyira mu bikorwa inzozi zawe z'icyuri cyo uyu munsi n'intumbero yawe ufite ko ndabizi kutaragera aho ugomba kugera.
Kugira ngo mbabwire wenda aho byaturutse, nkura mama wanjye yacuruzaga caguwa, nakuze nkunda imyambaro, nakuze nambara neza kuko imyenda ya caguwa yabaga ariyo myenda myiza, ifite karite, imyenda myiza cyane, bituma ngira urukundo rw'imyambaro. Ntabwo ari ikintu cyaje umunsi umwe, ni ikintu nakuze nshaka gukora nkagiharanira. Nanjye hari igihe gito ntari mfite akazi, nanjye ndayicuruza caguwa, ariko nanone nkabona atari byiza ko ngomba kwambara ibyo abandi bambaye bakansigira. Kubera iki ntatanga iyo caguwa nziza, iyo myenda myiza itari caguwa, itarambawe n'undi muntu, ariko nanone ifite ya karite dukundira caguwa. Ni gutyo natangiye gushaka gukora uyu murimo nkora wo kwambika abantu.
Yego, uyu murimo ukora rero wo kwambika abantu ntabwo n'ubundi ari wahereyeho uvuga ngo wagiye uzamura uteza imbere, ahubwo iyo caguwa warayambaraga cyangwa iyo myenda yindi warayambaraga ujya mu kazi ko guhabwa ko gukorera abandi, kandi banashimira yuko wakoraga neza. Nuvuga ngo mbere yuko twicarana narakurikiranye kugeza ku kigo cya nyuma wakoreraga cyitwa ICDL, ikigo mbona yuko kidahagaze nabi mu bijyanye no guhemba. Niki cyatumye uva mu kazi ko guhembwa ukanzura kujya kwikorera? Mbere yuko tuza no kuganira mu bijyanye nako kazi ko guhembwa, niba nako twakagayira batarimo kudukurikira.
Akazi ko guhembwa nari mfite ntabwo kari akazi kabi, kari akazi keza kandi naranagakundaga, ariko nkabona kansaba igihe, simbona umwanya w'abana banjye. Icyo cyari ikintu cya mbere cyambangamiraga, kuba numva ko ngomba gusiga uruhinja nkirirwa mu kazi, narangiza nkataha nimugoroba wenda naniwe ntagishoboye no kugumana n'umwana wanjye ko mbyifuza, byarambangamiraga cyane. Ariko ntikari akazi kabi kandi kampembaga neza. Noneho ngeze aho ngaho ndavuga nti birahagije ibyo nakoze, mbonye amahirwe yo gutangira, ngiye gutangira. Yari risike yo gufata, ntabwo corona yari yatangiye, ariko ntabwo nari mfite ubwoba bwa corona ko ntabwo twari twabonye ingaruka zayo. Njya gutangira numvaga gusa ko ari guhaguruka nkakora, nabona byacamo bigacamo, bitacamo nkihangana, ariko ndavuga nti ngomba gufunga amaso mpaguruke kubera abana banjye. Ndangije mfata umwanzuro, ndasezera, mfungura Under Creations.
Under Creations ni ikigo urimo gukorera uyu munsi, turi buze kugeraho intambwe umaze kugeraho uyu munsi. Ariko mbere yuko tugera ku ntambwe mu bijyanye n'ibitabo by'amafaranga, aha turi ku isoko ry'imari n'imigabane. Isoko rifite ibigo 10 ubu ngubu. Ibigo 10 biriho si ukubera ko ari byo bigo biri mu Rwanda gusa, si ukubera ko n'ibigo bitari kuri isoko bidashaka amafaranga aboneka kuri isoko ry'imari n'imigabane mu bijyanye no kongera ishoramari ry'igihe giciriritse ry'igihe kirekire. Ariko hari ibigo 10 kubera amabwiriza n'umurongo bagenderaho ajyanye no gukorera mu mucyo, gukora kuba ufite ibitabo by'icungamari n'icungamutungo bigaragara. Ibyo byose hamwe n'amabwiriza yandi agenga isoko bagenda bayigisha n'ibigo bitoya, ibyo bise investment clinic. Ubwo ndimo ndatekereza rero ngo nkawe uwicaye kuri isoko uyu munsi nk'amahirwe kuba wasangiza abandi bantu urugendo rwawe, ibyo byitwararika gute kugira ngo ejo n'ejo bundi haramutse hakenewe uburyo bwo kwagura ibikorwa byawe bitazakugora kwinjira kuri isoko nk'ikigo cyawe?
Nka Under Creations kuva twatangira twirinze gukorera mu kintu cy'icyuka. Twatangiye nk'uko twashoye imari, twanatangiranye n'umu accountant. Ni ukuvuga ngo ibikorwa byacu byose biba biri mu bitabo, amafaranga asohotse ayinjiye yose aba ari mu bitabo, kuko intumbero yacu nuko igihe kizajya natwe tukaba turi ahantu nk'aha ngaha. Ibintu byacu byose dukora rwose biba biri mu murongo kugira ngo n'igihe nikigera ayo mahirwe atazaducika.
imwe mu ngingo zigize zikorera n'iri soko ry'imari n'imigabane nuko ari bamwe mu bagize ihuriro riharanira uburenganzira n'ubwuzuzanye mu bijyanye n'ishoramari.
Yego.
Niyo mpamvu uyu munsi turanga ku bijyanye no kuba haba harimo ubwuzuzanye bw'abitsina byombi mu bijyanye n'ishoramari. Mwebwe mukora iki cyane cyane mu bijyanye no gufasha abagore n'abagabo, abakobwa n'abahungu kuba bajya mu byo urimo gukora atari mu kigo cyawe gusa ahubwo no muri industry murimo?
Hari tugitangira twebwe twararebye dusanga ntabwo umuntu agira ubwenge bitewe na gender cyangwa se n'uwari we, ahubwo skill yose tubonye twebwe turayinjiza muri company yacu. Kugeza ubu rero tukaba dufite 60% y'abakozi bacu n'abadamu, abandi bakaba ari abagabo, harimo abadamu n'abakobwa. Twizera neza yuko ari umugore ari n'umugabo bose bashoboye, kandi koko abagore dukorana ndetse n'abagabo dukorana barabitweretse ko bashoboye. Imyambaro dukora n'akazi muri rusange dukora, twese ari abagabo ari n'abagore, twese byagaragaye ko tugashoboye. Rero abagore tukomeza kubazamura tubereka ko barabishoboye, tukomeza kwakira ibitekerezo byacu tukabishyira mu bikorwa, kuko bituma babona ko koko niba igitekerezo cyanjye cyakiriwe kigakoreshwa ni ukuvuga ko nanjye nshoboye. N'undi wese utugana, hari nk'abana duha stage akaba yaza akareba imikorere yacu akatwigiraho, yaba ari umukobwa yaba ari umuhungu, akabona yuko umuntu wese hari icyo ashoboye kugeza ku bandi cyangwa se no mu kwiteza imbere.
Ese hari imbogamizi zikiri z'umwihariko uhura nazo nka rwiyemezamirimo w'umugore? Cyane rwose. Muri iyi covid namwe murabibona, business ahantu hose yarapfuye, ntabwo ari twe gusa, ntabwo abantu tukibabona nk'uko twababonaga mbere, ntabwo byoroshye, ariko ikitugumishamo ni urukundo rw'umurimo wacu. Ni nacyo mbwira abadamu ndetse n'abandi bari muri business, iki gihe ntabwo ari igihe cyoroshye. Ikintu cyonyine kikugumisha mu kazi ni urukundo ufitiye akazi kawe. Nturekura, kuko nurekura urapfa. Reka tuze rero ku cyo wabwira abana batoya bifuza kwinjira muri aka kazi. Ntabwo dushaka gusa ko abakuru hari ukuntu ushobora kuvuga ijambo rimwe bagasomamo 8, ariko abana batoya bacyumva hari imbogamizi. Abana b'abakobwa bumva ko kwiyemeza umurimo bishobora kuba bigoranye, cyane kuba uri umwana w'umukobwa bifuza kugera ku ntambwe yawe.
Icyo nabagiramo inama ni ugushaka gukora icyo bo bakunda. Ntabwo gukora, twese tugira impano zitandukanye. Ni ukuvuga ngo nge nshaka kuba nkunda wenda nkuko nawe ukunda ubunyamakuru, nanjye nkaba nkunda fashion, turi abantu babiri batandukanye, ariko twese iyo duhuye n'imbogamizi mu kazi, ikintu cyonyine cyatugumisha mu kazi kacu ni igihe wakoze ikintu ukunda. Niyo mpamvu rero abana batoya mbahamagarira gukunda icyo bakora. Niba ikintu ubona utakirimo rwose, kivemo ujye mu cyo ushaka, mu cyo wumva warwanira. Naho gukora, kujya mu biro, natwe twese twarahokoraga, nanjye nakoraga mu biro, ariko numvaga atari umwanya wanjye, numvaga ndi guta umwanya. Ariko igihe nahagurutse nkajya muri aka kazi, ni akazi gakomeye, kagoye, kagusaba gukora amasaha arenze ayo ushaka gukora, ariko kuba urimo ubikunda bituma uguma muri icyo kintu. Nicyo rero nabagiramo inama, mukora icyo mukunda, ntimugakora ikintu kuko abandi bagikora. Mukora icyo mukunda, niho muzaba successful.
Hari icyo nakubajije utansubije neza uko nabishakaga, ariko wansubije neza, ariko ntabwo ari uko nabishakaga. Ku bijyanye n'imbogamizi z'umwihariko waba uhura nazo nk'umugore mu kazi ka rwiyemezamirimo, nk'umugore, imbogamizi z'umwihariko?
Imbogamizi z'umwihariko ni igihe hariho igihe ushobora kugira umukozi w'umugabo udakunda kuyoborwa n'umugore. Biravuna cyane, kuko uba ufite intumbero, ufitiye company, nawe afite wa mutima wo kumva ko umugore ntiyanyobora, umugore ntiyantegeka, umugore ntiyambwira icyo gukora. Urumva rero ko haba harimo kutumvikana, kandi nanjye sinshobora kureka ngo ukore ibyo ntashaka gukora, kandi ari njye ufite vision aho nshaka ikigo cyanjye kigera, nakubwira ibyo gukora ntubikore ugasanga harimo ikibazo gikomeye. Icyo gihe rero bijya birangira abantu batandukanye ko bitakomeza, nubwo wenda umuntu ataba ari cyo yagennye, ariko nanone iyo ubona umuntu mutagendana muravunana. Biba byiza rero ko ufata ibyemezo rimwe na rimwe bivunanye cyane, ariko nta kundi byagenda.
Ibi ni ibitugaragariza ko hakiri icyuho mu bijyanye no gukangurambaga kugira ngo abantu bumve intego, kugira ngo abatumirwa bari aha ngaha, abayobozi bari aha ngaha, bwana Celestin Rwabukumba ndetse UN Women, hanyuma dufite na IFC, birumvikana ko imbogamizi zikomeye cyane abantu bahura nazo nuko kutumvikana ku murongo. Birashoboka ko abantu batakumvikana, bikeneye ko abantu bakangurirwa, ariko kutumvikana kubera ko uri umugore, ndatekereza ko ari imbogamizi igoye isaba andi mahugurwa y'ikirenga arenza asanzwe atangwa. Reka ngushimire cyane Madame Alice, ariko mbere yuko nkurekura ndifuza ko wambwira ubumenyi ufite uyu munsi mu bijyanye n'ibyo urimo gukora, wabukuye he?
Ibyinshi hari ibyo nakuye mu bwana bwanjye, hari ibyo nigishije ku giti cyanjye, ariko n'ubu ngubu noneho natangiye gufata amasomo ari professionnel, ndiyandikisha ndiga kugira ngo nkore umurimo unoze.
Yego. Ayo masomo urimo gufata ubu none hano kuvuga ngo ni amasomo atakubuza gukomeza gukora ibyo urimo gukora, urabihuza? Ndabihuza,
niga ndabyiga, ariko nkanabyiga ndi no mu kazi. Yego.
Ubwo bishatse kubwira umuntu ushaka gutangira akazi ko ashobora gutangira hanyuma akimenyereza akiga nyuma, cyangwa abanza byiga bimenye?
Byaba byiza akabimenya, kuko hari ibibazo adahura nabyo, ariko nanone iyo wabitangiye ntibivuze ngo uzi byose. Iyo wamaze gutangira akazi ntabwo ubuzi byose, ugomba n'ubundi kuzamura ubumenyi bwawe. Duhora twiga, nta gihe kwiga bisaza.
Watubwire rero ku bijyanye n'intumbero. Mba mfite intumbero y'ikigo cyanjye, tubwire urumva uzaba uri hehe mu myaka 5 iri imbere?
Ikintu nifuriza Under Creations, kandi turi no gukora kugira ngo tukigereho, no kugira ngo twe kwambika abanyarwanda gusa. Turashaka kwambika nta nubwo ari Afurika gusa, dushaka kugera kure. Niba binashoboka dufungure, tugire maison de couture, kubera iki iri high end, kubera yuko maze kubona ko ngewe rwose abanyarwanda ntacyo badashoboye. Abanyarwanda bafite bagira na mu myambaro. Abanyarwanda bakunda ibintu byiza. Nidukorana twese, ndizera ntashidikanya yuko kure nyuma mu myaka 5 iza dushobora no kuzajya tuba duproducingira amasoko yo muri Europe. Birashoboka cyane.
Mu bibazo bimwe bikunze kugaragara ku bagore cyane cyane ni ibijyanye n'imibonekere y'amafaranga yo gushora mu bitekerezo byabo. Bafite ibitekerezo byiza, ariko iyo mishinga yabo igakunze kubura amafaranga, igishoro, access to finance.
Yego.
Wowe wabigenje ute kugira ngo icyo kibazo ugikemure?
Hari ikintu nibyo ibyo uvuze, nanjye kandi icyo kibazo narakigize cyo kubona access ku mafaranga, ariko hari nubwo ushobora gutangirana amafaranga makeya ufite. Hari ntangira ngewe natangiye ntarafungura anda nyakwifungura, natangiye nkoresheje amafaranga 60,000. Nkorana n'umutayeri umwe, nkajya njya gushaka abakiriya, nawe akajya kubampimira, akabadodera, ari njye babashakiye amatisi, tugakorana. Mfite n'akandi kazi, ariko ntangirana amafaranga make cyane, ariko yaratangiye kuzamuka. Noneho ngeze aho ngaho mbona opportunity noneho yo kubona amafaranga menshi yo gushora noneho muri cya kintu cyari cyaratangiye. Ariko se washora mu kintu kitatangiye? N'umuntu ugiye kugushoramo imari abanza kureba bwa se ni icyo uri kunyereka gihari, sibyo? Nuvuga ngo nubwo wenda tujya tugira ikibazo cyo kugira amafaranga, ariko na make dufite twayatangiza. Nk'ubw'ibihumbi 60,000 n'amafaranga make cyane. Nta nubwo nabonaga igihe nzagwiza ngo nshobore kuba nagira business igaragara, ariko twarayatangije, ariko urabona ko hari ahantu kamwe tugeze. Niyo mpamvu rero umuntu wese ushaka gutangira, tangirana nakunga icyo ufite mu ntoki, tangiza icyo ngicyo. Noneho turebe aho hari ukuntu ibyiza bigenda bikururana ntawamenya, ushobora kubona nawe ukabona ubonye amafaranga none uhagaragara yo kugufasha kugera ku cyo wifuje.
Ndagushimiye cyane Alice.
Murakoze cyane.
Kandi wakoze ku kiganiro cyiza, ugerageze uvugane n'abantu benshi, ushaka amahirwe menshi yo kuvugana n'abantu kuko wabasangiza byinshi, kandi ntabwo ushobora kumenya ikiganiro dukoze none gifashije bangahe gutinyuka no gutangira, ukoze ikindi ubwo uwo mubare ushobora kwiyongera.
Murakoze cyane.
Ndagushimiye. Reka ngushimiye cyane Robert, ngusubize ijambo.
Thank you very much, Masantula and Alice. For the benefits of our viewers who don't understand Kinyarwanda, I'll try to summarize like in 30 seconds, 1 minute. Alice Umurero, she's a founder. She's a founder of a fashion industry. She works in the fashion industry, and her company is called Under Creation. She's so creative. When you hear about Under Creation, the way even it's written, it's Rwandan style, Under Creation. She started her yes. She started her company with a passion of. She has passion in dressing. Even you can see her dress code. Yes. So yes. Her mom used to trade in second-hand in the clothes industry, but when the government took a decision to seize them, so she started her own company. So since she had a passion of dressing, so she started a company in terms of fashion. She started slowly. Before that, she had a classy job, comfort job in an office job, but she decided to quit and take a risk, as most people call it, mainly women. She's married, she has kids, but to create time for her family and also to follow her passion, so she decided to quit her job, and she decided to venture into fashion industry. And this gave her time for herself, for her family, and also to do what she likes most. In terms of running her business, as the moderator said, you know, here in Rwanda, at Rwanda Stock Exchange, we teach transparency in terms of accountability and everything. She tries to do that. She learns from the best. So she does accountability, she does bookkeeping, recording, and everything. But since her company is still growing, she's emphasizing to put best practices in place as she grows her company. In terms of gender balance, yes, she has women in her company and men as well. So she tries to balance that. And in terms of building a company and also building other people, she gives internship to university students or those ones who are in fashion industry. She teaches them as well. However, she encourages them to study hard. To run your business, you need to be knowledgeable. So she has decided to go back to school and make sure at least she gains more knowledge to run her business. Challenges, she can't fail to have challenges in the business and also during this COVID-19 times. But one of the hardest challenges that she has faced is to run an industry where there are men who don't want to be like recognized as a boss. So at times she will give instructions. As someone who has passion in the industry, she will give instructions and men will tend to do the other way. And she will make sure she becomes tough at times where even some partners or employees have decided to depart her company just because they don't want to be led by a woman. However, as other businesses do, she still has challenges with funding, which is a big challenge. But still, she encourages people because she says she started with only 60,000 Rwandan francs. With 60,000 Rwandan francs, she worked with someone like partnership. Eventually, as she worked hard and hard, through the 60,000, she went on increasing her capital until now she ventured into a big industry with some quite good money. However, she says funding is still a problem, but through challenges and working hard, you keep on getting solutions for your business. And that's why she still encourages the youth to work hard and do what you love most. Because when you have passion for what you do and love, at times you don't feel the setbacks. So she encourages them to work hard and don't lose hope, and make sure also learn from the best. Yeah, I think in a summary, that's what she said. And she still encourages people. Yes, one more thing. Her target is making sure at least she conquers the world. Her fashion, it's not her fashion, it's not about local production. Yes. So she thinks she'll use all platforms. Technology has come in place, everything. She'll use all the platforms to make sure at least people recognize her brand worldwide. So, Mrs. Alice, thank you very much. Yes, as we say at the Stock Exchange, time is money. We try to keep our time, but it's 2 minutes past 10. We're supposed to finish at 10, but we can't go without having a closing remark from our CEO. So, still, please kindly give us a closing remark.
If you can hear me, this is not a formal one. If you have looked at our program, it was saying wrap up. So wrapping up means you do it quickly and efficiently. So we are finished here. I just wanted to thank you again for your support, being here with us for 1 full hour. Like they say, time is money, but it was worth it. It's a cause which we really believe in at the stock exchange here, within the capital market industry, but most importantly, within Rwanda. I will not repeat how many barriers we have broken, in how many aspects of gender equality we have become top of the list on the planet, not only in Rwanda or the region. So I think Madame Fatou, our guest of honor, Dan, thank you again. Eric, our regulator, and all of you here, we thank you. We can't thank you enough. And we promise you we'll repeat this same exercise next year with more strides. I thank you very much. But I wouldn't want us to go without taking a group photo with our usual equality for all. You know, sometimes people say gender is about women. It's not. I think Eric is the one who mentioned it. Gender is about equality of all people. Thank you very much.
I'll invite our media, take a group photo, and staff.